Hello. So today I'll be making OCs for animes that I'll be spinning a wheel from. Basically, I'll spin a wheel from the random wheel of names, and then I'll be drawing an OC in the artist's style. I've gathered a list of animes that I enjoy, but this isn't all of them. Obviously, I can't fit all of them, and some of them are just, for me, kind of hard to recreate or try to insert an OC to, so I didn't want to make it too complicated. Hopefully, I'll be able to get in depth with the background story for each of the characters and all their powers if they have any, and yeah, let's see what we get. The first one I got was Jujutsu Kaisen. Luckily, okay, I actually kind of planned on making an OC for this, so that was just good luck, I guess. Now for the second one. Hunter x Hunter. Okay, not bad. I think I can maybe insert someone in there. Next. I'm not even gonna pronounce that. I can't pronounce it. Watched the whole thing and I haven't pronounced it right. Okay, now we have all 4 animes. Let's see how well I do in making an OC.
Okay, so before we continue, I also wanted to add that for all 3 animes, there will probably be minor spoilers. For some, all the way through the series, and for others, only partially. Just a heads up, just in case, you know. Before I started digitally, I went in and did some planning on paper. I did some small sketches, a full body, some different facial expressions to help me nail down the personality and vibe I wanted. I drew him in Jujutsu High, you know, some before and some after, just to flesh him out a little bit. Okay, so I already had a vague idea for what I wanted his character to be like. I tried to remember the vague personalities and characteristics of the whole entire JJK cast, and found something I could vaguely land on. I wanted to add something that wasn't present before, but it's kind of hard since like the cast is pretty big. I had to do some research, but I ended up searching cool Japanese names for his given name. His name is Takao Midori, his given name being Noble Hero, and his last name being Green because of he's gonna have green hair. He was born in a sorcerer household, with his dad being a sorcerer and his older sister being one too. He applied and attended Jujutsu High and was Gojo/Gato/Shoko's underclassman with Nanami and Haibara during the Hidden Inventory arc. I think that the only people he got along with at Jujutsu High was Nanami, Shoko, and maybe Gato. I imagine him as more of a realistic and pessimistic person, but then again I think maybe a good chunk of the cast kinda is, given the setting. He hates having to deal with other people and prefers being alone. And he also has a similar mentality to Gojo. He hates how he has to protect the weak and would rather only exercise curses for money like Mei. During his teenage years, he used to smoke, but then gave that up for Pocky. Basically the opposite of what Shoko did. That's what he keeps in his bag, by the way, along with his wallet. I had to do a lot of thinking for his curse technique, but I landed on something kinda vague. I know I'm using this word a lot. His technique is called Lingering Impact. He can hold back the impact that he makes on an opponent. He first has to land the punch with the technique activated, then it allows him to control when the impact will actually land. This opponent will first feel no effect from the punch, until he decides to release it. This explains his brass knuckles, which are his curse tools to help him fight, I guess. Curse technique is kinda complicated to me, so that's the best I can explain it. Overall, I feel like I kinda nailed Gege's art style. It's vaguely reminiscent of it, you know, and using the pen that I found for it on IBS was fun. I like his character, but I probably should have put more thought into his design. His design is mainly just something he decided to put together. I think he'd be more casual, that's why, instead of wearing a Jujutsu uniform like Gojo or Yuki. I think I should have maybe put more thought into it. Before anyone tells me this might have already been done before, I've only watched Hunter x Hunter, not read the manga, so I don't want any spoilers. For this next one, I wanted to do an aviator theme, and it was mainly because it was the first thing to come to mind. Going back on this now, I realized that giving her shorts was maybe a bad idea. Gon and Killua already wear shorts, so it's not a very big distinction on character design between the cast and her. Going through and researching the reasoning behind the name of the cast in Hunter x Hunter made me realize that I could literally just pick a random name and it'd fit in. Togashi has a good reasoning behind each of the names and picks meanings that perfectly match the character, like Leorio translating to lion for his bravery. So for her, I decided to pick something a little more simplistic, Liamia Herarat. Okay, don't laugh, okay? I literally just threw the letters around in Amelia Earhart's name. Like, I literally just switched around the letters. Pretty simple. Onto her story. During her early childhood, she grew up in a city. Her mom was an air blimp pilot, so she naturally came to love aviation. In fact, her mother was the one who gifted her her antique aviator hat. She often went on trips her mother took on her job, so she was able to see a lot of the world through that. Her dad was a boxing instructor, so he mainly stayed at home. Whenever she did stay with her dad though, she learned little by little on fighting techniques. She took the exam the same time Gon and the others did. She was 18. She saw a bunch of kids taking the test and immediately ran over to them with a bunch of questions. With a big fat, huh? Am I at a daycare center or a hunter exam? Look on her face. I think she'd get along with the group other than Killua at first. Her favorite thing in the world are biplanes. Wait, I'm pretty sure they have those, right? Anyways, Liamia went to Greed Island. Not exactly with Gon and Killua, mainly because she went on her own accord to see what the game was really about. So she had no intention on following them at first. Eventually she did accompany them just to have some fun. She would have learned from Bisky too, just from, following them, and helped with getting the plot of Beach Card from Razor. Her Nan ability is an emitter type, but if anyone could clarify what it might actually be, it'd be appreciated. She can basically produce mini biplanes that can either survey the land and show her what it sees, or be used as a weapon that can shoot targets or kamikaze. The more aura she puts into them, the more powerful each one is. I honestly think her design could have been tweaked a little bit more, but overall I do like it. I think the only part of her that matches Togashi's style though is her eyes. It was the only thing I probably managed to do kind of correctly, so yeah. Okay, for this one I really struggled with this design. I wanted to maximize his design to properly fit in with the world. At first, I wanted him to be more softer looking, with hair that looked like strands of paper, but now it just looks like he just cut it himself, which is why it's so uneven. I couldn't land on a proper theme that I could be happy with, so I ended up drawing inspiration from other media. One of the characters he's inspired by is Caesar from Zenless Zone Zero with the kingly theme. Going with that, I also drew inspiration from Miyabi with the off-shoulder design. To clarify, I'm only up to date with chapter 110 in Gachiakuta. Yes, I know I'm behind. Please don't judge me. Researching Gachiakuta, I found the name meanings to be pretty interesting. Much of the names coming from Greek mythology and some coming from Japanese meanings. Because of this, I went to the Greek meaning route. This guy has a pretty haughty personality, so I don't think he'd want to be called by his real name, nor would want anyone to find out what it is. He goes by Theseus, with no last name. Yeah, I thought that Theseus would be a good name for him, seeing how he was the king who slayed the Minotaur, and given the context of the world of Gachiakuta, he views the trash beasts as monsters he has to slay in order to end this cycle of death. I put him in Team Eager because I thought that adding him to Team Akuta would be unbalanced. I felt like since Akuta had most members, at least so far that I know of, it wouldn't be fair to the others. Also because I think Team Akuta would not, I think they would think that he's kinda too quirky for them. He's a fashionista and prioritizes beauty before anything else. His clothes were tweaked by him, which is why he stands out a little bit more than the others. He added the belts and the fox fur and messed with the oxygen mag a bit. His crown was thrown together by his mother, who was the one who told him of stories of kings and beasts. He's always kept the crown close, and it soon became his jinky. I realized pretty late that Rudo is a special case when it comes to transforming objects using his jinky. So by the time I drew the bottom one, I was pretty deep in and I didn't want to restart. I'm not sure if this is a real workaround, so let me know if I should change it, but basically his jinky allows him to mark objects he touches as his subjects, and those subjects have to follow his demands, but they can only follow them once, so after that they're unable to be marked again. I might change it in the future if any other good ideas come up though. I really like his design, and if I don't look too close at it, it looks like Urana style. Mainly looking at the hair though. I think that I could have done much better making it look like a cleaner's outfit. I feel like I strayed kind of far from the other characters so much that he looks too separated. Like he just stands out too much and it doesn't look like he's part of the collective. Also, I realized way too late that I made 2 characters green haired and 2 characters have the same type of jacket. I'm so disappointed in that, but if I have time in the future, I will probably tweak him a little bit more. Alright, that's the end of the video. I'm happy to have been able to make new characters since character design is one of my favorite things to do. Big thanks to my brother for helping me brainstorm ideas for their powers. Let me know which were your favorites in the comments and don't be shy to ask any questions. Criticism is much obliged and will be taken a look at. Thanks for watching. Bye!